Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of DilSe Stories. We have a very special guest today, Mr. Shammi Bannu Sharma. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Bhadwaji. Thank you.
Uh,
It's,
can you introduce yourself for our audience, please? Give an introduction.
I'm an artist and I'm in working in the seventh generation, uh, taking this legacy which I got uh, through my forefathers, and they were practicing the same technique which is called miniature paintings. And still I'm doing that, but my forefathers and me, they were having a very different way of working. So my compositions are very different from my forefathers.
Very nice. And I'm Dr. Parag Bharadwaj. So let's jump right into the discussion.
Please,
आपने
sir.
बताया कि it's called miniature art, but
Ji.
is there a particular technique that has a name to it, or is it your technique?
So this is a miniature. You will find out this technique is a mini, means finest. And India has a opportunity. Means I take you towards to the Iranian era, the where was the like the miniature painting was exist, but they don't have that brush we have in miniature. So this art comes from Persia and travel down towards to the Pakistan to India and China and till Buddhist countries are as well. So India got, by the way, very lucky to have this kind of a brush. They found Indian school brush which has curvy in the end, and there are a lot of hair which comes together, but in the end, the finest hair work together in the end. The Persian artist was finding the difficulty to paint faces and the fine lines. Their illuminations are very good. They were in text, they were writing very well with the ink and all. Uh, but when this art comes to India, travel down, they found this miniature brush because uh, what happened, always it happens, if I teach anyone, other student can put their own input, and that's the changes with decades is also happen in the same way it was. So they found miniature brush, it was delicate, and that's why the lines were very delicate. So miniature paintings were finest in Mughal era, called Shahjahan period. It develops because one day it cannot be developed in the one day. The technique learns, it takes years and decades to learn, and maybe centuries. So we are a part of it. Sorry for saying like that in in terms of that. Maybe our generation is the last to know about this kind of the fineness of the quality what we were taking through our life. But it is in that way. The art is going slowly down towards to the not to the fineness. People don't have a time, people don't have a courage, and people don't have a time to devote that. And this art needs the time. 10,000 hours need to be become a master. Nobody in the young generation have a 10,000 hours means become a master. So online classes are on the way. People wants to learn in couple of hundred rupees or $1,000 to learn the technique, but it cannot be. By screen, you cannot transfer your knowledge in 2 hours.
Yes, thanks for sharing the state of, you know, the art. Um, but let's see, I'm encouraged. I mean, we connected, right? And
Yeah, yeah. Thanks
hopefully,
to you. Like,
yeah,
you kind of a people, at least you are doing something which is good. They will be in the record. So people maybe can learn and uh, taking interest about this. बट दौर ऐसा ही है, जा रहा है समय.
No, but definitely, you know, we also have technology, right? So it can work in your favor because your work is amazing. And if it wasn't for
Technology,
technology, yeah,
technology can record things, preserve things, lectures, thoughts, period, which was not exist before. That's why only the textbooks are available, who was recorded or written by good scholars. But nobody has a time to read those books nowadays, you know. But this technology will help. At least country's government has to be help out to preserve this kind of art, because everybody has a limited life to perform. Nobody can forever can teach or learn. This my way means. This is very sad. Miss India is losing our legacy slow by slow. Very modernized world we are in.
yeah. I have a lot of questions to ask you, but let me just go back to some of the things that you said. You mentioned about the fine brush, right? So, uh, what usually is the animal's hair that is used, right? So, what animal's hair is used for the
This is
fine brush?
uh, Indian squirrel brush. Only Indian squirrel brush has a tendency to, when you dip into the water, bunch of hair, when it goes into the water, it curves you.
Got it.
If any chance we can demonstrate sometime the lines and all, uh, you will come to know the what how difficult with the straight brush. Straight brush has a this point. Okay, when you learn when you turn the circle about, it spreads in the end. And squirrel hairbrush has a tendency, because of the so many hair, and in the end there was the finest hair, which looks one hair, but it gives you the straight line. You can turn around and around like record player.
Got it.
That was
Yeah,
main key of Indian miniature painting, what I say.
I didn't even know that that was possible. So, thanks for sharing that. And the just to be clear, right? So the like I might be wrong in the words that I'm using the term. I think in like around Orissa they have an art form called Madhubani or something like that. So this particular art form is miniature art form, and
No,
so
Madhubani
what?
has a
Right,
different
right.
art form.
But the one that you do is miniature art,
Yeah.
and it's not the size. It's not the size of the painting is miniature. It's just that you use very fine brushes
Actually,
to do the art.
I explain you the technique of what is the miniature.
Mhm.
In British time, you also still you can see the specimen of the finest things, which is like independent of there. They used to paint with the oil or gouache with a straight brush, but they are very minute. Minute art can called miniature, but they also called miniature paintings as well. But Indian miniature painting, especially if you log in, you will find out that there are several schools in India, which is the like middle India, north part of India, which called the Pahadi schools. Middle is like Mughal school, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and it in the middle it downs, but then Hyderabad in the south. Then when it turns towards to the south, when you can call Madhubani and towards to the east of Bengal and these kind of art, but they don't have that kind of a squirrel brush. So they still have very folk touch in the art.
Thank you for explaining that.
जी
Right
जी.
now, you said that it takes 10,000 hours to master
I
a craft, right?
I heard
Or
that
even,
I heard about this long back ago,
yeah,
uh, but when I count, like every day if you work from scratch 8 hours a day, 8 to 10 years if you devote any art, any form, or either any form of towards to the explaining thing, you will become a master after 8 to 10 years. That's why if you calculate in our life, if we get the MA degree or the master degree, it takes 10 to 12 years to get.
Right. So, how long have you been doing this? I mean, when did you start? At what age?
I say I'm working since seven generation because my father was just for your knowledge, just log in and read about on Google about my father. Okay, so he got the cusp of miniature painting when Stuart Gary Welch came to. He was my father's friend. He was a Metropolitan Museum director, Stuart Gary Welch. So he used to come to my father, and he that time that era was that antique paintings were exist, and they were very keen to buy. That's why the most of the Indian art is gone out of in the British museums or English museums. So that time having the like he's a director of museum, and used to come to India. My father was practicing this art during that time because that time when Britishers left India, still they were demanding for Indian art in terms of so many things like statues and all and this and that. So paintings were also one of those things. So the cream things were mostly gone out from India, but still there were a lot of boxes were available in that time. So the quality of the paintings were exist, and sometime the quality of painting is available, but they were not in terms of good condition. So my Bannuji is my father's uh, signature and father's uh, what you can say, like what he gave it to this word. He was alone, and he was when my grandfather left him. He was a 13 years old boy, and nine people were in the family. So he was only boy to look after the family. So he knew only the one art, the family art. So after when my grandfather left, and he know about only when he was, I think, ninth or tenth standard. So he quit this thing. The like he cannot continue over that time the studies. What he knew about to how to survive with the nine people of family, he only has the technique of in the family. So he continued that, and one of the richest people were doing this business of antique things and all old paintings. So they try to find out the one of who can restore those painting which are damaged from the part of it, little part or bigger part. So that was, you can say that Bannoji born from that because he was only the person. So then Bikaner uh, royal family, he was a jeweler, and he came to my father to know about somehow. One person gave him that like Mohanlal ji, my grandfather was, well, Mohanlal ji is not more. So if he's his son, I'm sure if he is doing something, so maybe you can ask him. Can he restore your things? So he come to my father, and that day my so you can judge that era of bit after British time when it's finished. So my great grandfather was blind because of the work. The eye treatment was not the right on that time and not enough to treat. So he got blind working for so many long hours. So my father is only one person who look after the family, and when this guy came to meet my father, and he asked, uh, "Who is the who is Bannu?" So he says, "I am myself." He says, "Come up, come up stairs." He He came upstairs and there was the, like, if you know, the bidding was going on by the drums, like banging drums outside, old time, so we called nagaras. It was happening because my grandfather was blind and he was borrowing so much money from the market to survive. So the bidding last day of my family house was on the auction, and that day Malik ne unko bheja, like God sent him. So he was searching for someone who can restore the painting. So my father, he invite him upstairs and he shows so many paintings. So he says, "Can you restore this paintings?" So my father says, "Yes, I can." So he says,
Amazing. Amazing
what would
story.
what will be the price of this?" So my father says, "When the sound will stop, that's my price." So the price was 10,000 rupees. So he gave 1,000 rupees note, 10, and straight away say go away from that. Then we got the house after that, and then that's a start of Bannoji. So he worked so many old masters paintings on top of it. So that was his learning. That's why he become himself master. Otherwise, Stuart Garbage cannot write like that. Banno himself is the university of miniature painting. He
Wow.
knew
So,
so.
no, go ahead.
So so he became a Bannoji, and Jacqueline Kennedy visited 3 times to India, and the second time when she came, so she came especially to meet my father, and she published the book called Second Paradise. When she entered in the house, it was old Haveli, small, still we have, but it was so pretty decorated, old house, so much old smell in that, and my house. So she gave to decide the book name called A Second Paradise.
I can just see the smile on your face when you started describing the house.
I, I, I I can
It's
I can feel it every
mhm.
time whenever people take my interview. Because I go in my childhood.
Were you there that day when that meeting occurred? Were you with your father?
Yeah, I'm only the person with my father. Actually, Ravi Shankar ji's program is going on in the university. My brother was in the university, so he find out some free passes. So he invite all the family. I was not into so much into these kind of functions or music concerts. So I was, because on 13 years old I was into playing and all these kind of things. Video games. I spend a lot of waste time when on what you call initial start with that.
The
Uh,
Nintendos, the Game and Watches, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was a master of what you call what the name of
Was it Donkey Kong?
no, no, Donkey Kong was yeah. Starting is Donkey Kong, and after that is what is that? Mario. Mario.
Mario.
I cleared
Mhm.
all like I was a master in that. Anyway, I somehow I didn't go there, and my father is a busy, and Stuart Gary Welch called in the morning to my father, Banu, I have some special guest with me, so don't talk in terms of money. My father never talks. So many foreigners visit to my family. My father never talks in terms of money and all. He was not keen to sell the paintings like dealers are like that. He was a pure artist. So he says, "Oh, your guests are please most welcome." So they came 3 o'clock, something like that. And my father, that time, when in chalk we called the corridors in the old house, when she entered, like Madhuri Dixit came in my young age, or whatever you can say, that like धरती जमीन से जमीन कसक जाती है आपकी, आप ऐसा शख्स आपके जीवन में आ जाए जो इसको आप बहुत एडमायर करते हो. एंड जैकलिन वाज आई थिंक ब्यूटीफुल लेडी इन द वर्ल्ड इन दैट टाइम, I think, and he was quite famous. So she came. So my father don't have a word anything, and but you have a guest, you have to be honor. So he honor, gave her time properly. 4 hours she was, 4 to 5 hours she was at my father. They were so engrossed in the talks. And my father called me and asked, "Okay, you know how to make tea?" I said, "Yes, father." So still, I love my cooking whenever I have time. Every day, mostly, I cook my own way. So the passion still continue. So I said, "Yes, I can." So he says, Make four teas." So I made it one cup, four cups, and they were very lost in the talks. And she forget about one sip, after one sip, and it cools down. My father says, "Okay, can you make again?" So I go again. So I didn't know that so many foreigners used to come to my house and all that. That was not that the time he introduced me, because I was too little and too young to know that. When she left my house, and next day was the Makar Sankranti was going on in the city palace. The 13 January she visited in 19, I think 80s, 1980 or 1982. She published the book after that. So she gave the name of Second Paradise after seeing my father's house. So that was the reason, and I see I got that privilege to serve four cups of tea, Jacqueline Kennedy.
So if I ever by chance ever have the opportunity to come and visit you at your house, I hope
I
I'll get
serve
a cup of tea.
I
For you.
you I serve you entire meal. Now I know how to cook.
Yeah. So yeah, very interesting discussion, and thanks for sharing so much light. So for the sake of our audience, you mentioned, we can search your father's name on Google. What is his full name so that the audience can go and search it?
Vedpal Sharma is the official name, but the Bannu is the famous name. He got the Bannu name, so everybody knows about Bannuji. So anybody, maybe if you tried with the Mr. Vedpal Sharma, Bannu might be, it's easier to find out about him. So that's I'm part of that family.
Great. So you said seven generations, so that's almost 250 years. We
Yeah,
were trying to calculate it before before the interview, and
but
this
we
is
do.
when even before Jaipur was a city. And
Yeah, it's a young city, young, very
Yeah.
young city.
So
But
I'm
still,
assuming, sorry.
still we have a house there, like near to the palace. So they give all areas, like depicted areas, like for account section. They're called. I used to work in the one of the Haveli. It called Munshiji Haveli. So there are Munshis. So many Munshis are in the house, account holders and like that. So our street was Gali Musawiran, means artistों की गली, means artist street. So still maybe we have somewhere the photograph of it, because my father told me that please click the photograph, otherwise this renovation of the houses can renew this. I don't know, nowadays I don't go there, but I seen that palette of that Gali Musawiran is called Street of Artists, given by
Great.
the
So my assumption is because 250 years is a long time. I'm assuming some of your family members' works are in museums
yeah, yeah, my
somewhere
great
around the
friend.
world.
They, my father works when actually he started his own style of work after when he visited to Metropolitan Museum and Riedberg and all. So he when he came back to India, he just few books he just gave the circle of that part of the old paintings published in that book as an old masterpieces. So he realized that after um, if I cannot say this is my work, so what's the point to become an artist? So he started his own work. So if you see his style in 20th century, he's the last master who can design his own style of work. I don't see better than him anyone, because that's why he's only one of my guru I'm worshipping, and officially he was my guru as well. Every Guru Purnima, I offer him as a flower and tilak and everything.
I mean, it's your father and your guru as well, so that's amazing.
Yeah. I
Wow.
worship him as well every day.
Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit. We have limited time and you have so much to cover, right? So I
Yeah.
would hope that we have you back again because your stories are amazing. And that's the reason why we have this channel, right? Is to capture the stories. And your story is not just about you, it spans over multiple generations. And, I was
Yeah.
just thinking, a 13-year-old boy, your
Yeah.
father, saved this whole legacy of this art form. So I would like to share some of your works with the audience and then
Please.
perhaps we'll have another interview where we can go a bit more in detail about how you came about and
Need, yeah, I at least need couple of hours to talk more.
so let's go over this real quick. I mean, I picked some of your works and thanks for giving me permission to share these with the audience. Uh, this is just amazing. I mean, I'm not a art admirer or critique. I mean, I think people, they
This is
go
one
through
of
training, but this is
this is one
amazing.
This is the latest work of mine recently, and there's a few friends are looking for my art in future. 10 years ago, one of the lady she had one cosmic Vishnu in the house, and she demanded this. Can you paint in the indigo with the red center of red? So I painted this recently. Yeah,
Very well done. I mean, look at the lotus and the different colors. Very nice. And then let's go through
thank you.
uh, this one is
This
great
is
as
my
well.
Krishna, yeah, favorite.
Very nice. And I didn't realize like the size. You have it right behind you, right? The cosmic Vishnu.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
This is.
I think for the sake of the audience, I think one does not get to appreciate the fineness of the work done. And you did a very good job in sharing close-up pictures on Instagram because look at this fine work. It is just amazing. I mean, the waves and the attention to details.
Actually,
Some
you kind of a people find those kind of a people who have a passion to work towards to the art or towards to serve, towards to good things to in the world. So I'm thanks to you. You are finding us, and so we have a chance to say something about what we have in the heart by paint or by words.
so thank you for giving me so much credit. I will once again, I'm a doctor. I'm very like detached from worldly things, but your art is so good, it's very difficult to ignore it. So it
So that's
draws
a
you. Yeah,
pleasure for
so I mean, look at here. This is a dragonfly with the waves. Just amazing. And this was just amazing. I mean, the
it was
detail on
demand.
this is, I'm
Was
sorry.
the client demands that early morning of Lal Killa has to be in the background and palace in the white and lot of greenery. So I develop according to that.
So,
I try to fulfill
yeah.
my clients because in the market, those things are available. The few people are looking for something different from the market, and those people are my clients. They come to me, they want to say something, and they want to paint something as different from the market. So I try my level best to fulfill their dreams, and I paint according to them. So I feel happy to make them happy.
No, no, but this is so fine here, like the at the bottom you have the building and everything is perfect, and then on top you have the color that just, they're different shades and they just merge. It's just fascinating to me, the contrast between what is at the bottom and what is on top. And
Thank you.
again, I'm not a big admirer of art, but
You
this
admire.
really caught my eye. I was like, this is a work of a master.
Thank you, Dr. Bhardwaj. Thank you very much for your kind words.
I mean, we don't have enough time to do justice for all the work that you've done.
Can
Uh,
do.
I would love to do a whole series with you. I mean, I'm sure every painting has a story, right?
Yeah.
Every painting has a story, and
Without reason, I don't paint.
and it seems like this is your passion and this is your lifelong work. So, would love to have you back. and share some more information about the techniques,
I
the
love to talk
legacy.
about to people know about at least about one of the family who will continue this art. Just to know, just to I want to tell if they anyone any questions, we can build question era as well, question marks, so people can ask the question before that. I will love to answer, or if we can live demo, if we can shoot, I love to do that for people to do something different from other
Yeah,
YouTube.
it is just amazing. And you have shared some videos where you're showing how you painted some of these paintings. It's just amazing work. I wish I had that talent. I don't.
You're already doctor. I tried to become a doctor in somehow.
No, you were destined for greater things, and that is carrying on the legacy. I think that's a lot of weight on your shoulders. 7 generations. It's amazing.
All given responsibilities given by God. You cannot choose your father, you cannot choose your mother, you cannot have a chance to choose your parents. So I'm here, I got a birth in this family. Maybe this is my duty. I have to fulfill.
Amazing. I couldn't have suggested ending this interview on a better note. So I'll hope to see you back again in the near future, and
Yeah,
let's work on a series. That'll be fantastic.
definitely. You have to decide the questions and all. Now you know the cusp of my life journey with my childhood. So you can ask any questions. I will, if I'm able to, I will answer you.
Will
This
do.
one, yeah, I will.
Thank you very much. See you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhadwaji.